Welcome. Tridamba bedida yamba dida dida yam tida da ya yada yadamba yam bam bam bedida di 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 ya 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 di 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 da ya ya di da yo ya ya di da yo di 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 oh yeah di 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 Diddy dum ba dee da you wa ya da 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 dee da ya dum bum dee da ya da dum. Ooh la la. Welcome to Tanya today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zuch Kadesh in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. We welcome Michael in Germany, Kutavach Clem, all the way in Brisbane, Australia. Good evening. Julia is closer at home. Pennsylvania, Boker Tov. Rabbi is in Morocco. Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon in Tangiers. John, close at home. North Carolina, at least in West Virginia. Joseph, even closer. A mild day in New Jersey. Daphne, a marvelous Monday, as she famously calls it, in South Carolina. Welcome. Carlos is in Costa Rica. Who else is joining us? June in Australia. Virginia still in Florida. I hope it's sunny there. Rachel, she's also in Florida. Amazing. We've got Michael and Loz and Winston and Lynn joining us. Rachel in South Carolina. Akoy is with us in Peru. Balmy, Baltimore has Alice with us. Diane in Arizona. Alex is in Toronto. Wonderful. Leah in Florida. Got great feedback from TRC last night, also our class, the Tanya Rabbi community. Get a chance, look it up. TanyaRabbi.com/TRC. Yeah, good stuff. Welcome Batya all the way from Montreal. And Gelarmo, oh, I'm sure I got that wrong, from Mexico. Gelarmo, did I get that right? Yeah, okay. We begin today the 9th chapter, which means we finish 8 chapters. The first 8 chapters were giving us a in-depth understanding of the makeup of the godly soul and the makeup of the animal soul. We continue with this to bring it to the next level of understanding the nature, the makeup, the quality of these two souls. Gives us an upper hand on understanding ourselves, where things are coming from, and how to deal with things as a result. So, in today's class, we're going to give in this what will become a wrestling match, as we will see tomorrow. But the abode of the animal soul that's derived from klipas noga, remember, it's an admixture of good and evil, is in the heart. It's predominantly an emotional being. And in the left ventricle of the heart is full of blood. As the teachings tell us, that the soul resides in the left ventricle where the blood is, because the blood is life-giving, and this soul is life-giving to the body. It's life-giving. Now, when we say that it's there in the blood, we don't mean literally in the blood, that if you got a blood transfusion, you're going to get a different animal soul. No, not the case. Right. In any case, this soul is something of the spirit of the individual that reflects itself in the physical. So, why is it residing in the heart? Because that's where all the lusts and boasting and anger, when you don't get your lust, you get angry, is in the heart. So it begins there, though. Doesn't end there, of course. It spreads throughout the entire body. From the heart, it rises to the brain and the head to think and meditate about the feelings of the heart, and to use your brain in a cunning way to get what you want. Manipulative way, perhaps. And even if it's not open manipulation, it's a manipulation that the heart is using the mind to get what it wants. That's the important point over here. The heart has a desire, has a lust. It wants. Now it uses its brain to get what it wants, which is probably most of the things we do in our day that stem from the animal soul. Right? And this is, physically the makeup of our body, right? That the source of blood is in the heart, and from the heart it circulates into every organ, rising also to the brain. It circulates to the brain also, giving blood to the brain. So instead of the other way around, that the mind is inspiring the heart and guiding it, here the mind, the brain, the intelligence of the individual is merely a reaction and serves only as a tool, a clever one, yes, to realize the desires, the lusts, the passions of the heart. Which again, very important to recognize where things are coming from when inside of me. When I identify them appropriately, then I can deal with things appropriately. So that's the animal soul. The divine soul, on the other hand, its principal abode is in the brain. It's in the brain. But it also extends to all other limbs, from the brain to other limbs. So essentially, the godly soul is an intellective one, being that its seat is in the brain, the intelligence of the individual. Now, it's also in the heart, in the right ventricle of the heart, where they're not the place where it's full of blood. As it's written from King Solomon, the heart of the wise man is on its right side, right ventricle of the heart, as opposed to the left ventricle. Right? Now, what does it mean that it's in the heart, the divine soul? It means that the divine soul is first revealed in the heart. Its principal abode is in the brain, but it's first revealed in the heart. Just like the animal soul, it's first revealed in the heart with a desire, with a lust, right? With a passion, that begins in the heart, not in the mind, right? That's all an expression of the animal soul. Remember, this is all klipas nega, meaning it's a mixture of good and bad, primarily self-directed, and of course could be elevated and used for good, as we've learned previously, but we need to understand where this is emanating from. The godly soul, again, by contrast, begins in the brain and its seat. The seat is in the brain. It's revealed in the heart, the divine soul. And how does it express itself, that revelation? With a fiery love for God. Also a passion, right? But it's for God. That comes as a result of the mind, of the chokhmah that we have, the power of knowing that something greater than us, that we want to connect to, through the understanding of the mind, that we can reflect on things and understand its ramifications, know the details of things. And of course through das, which is the knowledge of the brain, which allows us to immerse and become connected with a godly idea. And this contemplation that is in the mind will arouse the love in the heart. Likewise, it also brings joy. How? Again, the presence of the divine soul in the brain will then reflect itself in the heart by apprehending God's goodness, the beauty of God and His majesty, His world. His world. That when we use our mind to understand and appreciate, will bring a gladness in the heart. Because when we're looking at the world, we're looking at another, we're looking at God, His imprint in the world. We're looking at another, we're seeing the divine image or a part of God that's in that person, which then will bring a gladness of heart. So what has the Alter Rebbe done now? He's established that each of these two souls, who's on first and what's on second. Each one of them having a separate abode and a different way to function. Now, based on this, we would just think, okay, what's on first, who's on first, what's on second, and they're in their own world. And they don't have anything necessarily to do with each other. Each one will do its thing. We have to stay tuned to know that might not even be a good metaphor. We need a different metaphor to understand the engagement that there is between them. Not on first base and second base, but as we will see in tomorrow's class, a different understanding of the relationship between them and what life is all about. Tomorrow, we find out the answer. What is life all about? All right. Any questions, any comments? Um, all right, I don't see any questions. I guess everything's good. All right. Our conversation to be continued. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you for Chabad in Kadesh, Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Stay tuned to Rambam. Have a wonderful day.